Welcome, Kryptonians. Tonight, a daughter loses her mother to Brainiac. A rankless citizen is gunned down by the Sagittari. And we have a very special guest on the show tonight. This is the Krypton After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is epic for you to come in like this.
My cape's flowing in the wind. That's what that's. Whoa,
Look at that.
Whoa. I actually just went to China and came back.
That was impressive.
That was fast.
How was it over there?
That was cool.
Good.
I mean, as far as it can be. Welcome everybody to Krypton After Show. Hello everybody, my name is Anthony Baccera, and with me I have...
Hi guys, it's Candice Cruz.
And also we have a very special guest here. We have Corey Trench in the house.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
You guys
here.
match. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry.
Get your super gear on.
You know what? I'll be the incognito.
You can have my Clark
Here, there we go.
Glasses.
Well,
Perfect.
You have a good Lana Lang going right now.
Yeah, see? Look at that, guys. I like this.
There you go.
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's a good look, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I like it. I dig it.
Sure.
All right, so let's get into this episode.
Such a good episode.
So real quick,
Yes.
so we're doing Krypton episode 3, and it was the Rankless initiative. Okay, so real quick, just how we're gonna break down this show for you. We're gonna do the interview with Corey. Then after, we're gonna go right into the raid on the Rankless, and then after we're gonna follow up on Seg's hunt for the parasitic sentry. And we're going to discuss, if we have time, some news and gossip as well as our special segment, the Character Corner. And finally, we're going to wrap out with some predictions. So let's just get into it right now. So, Corey, you
Yes.
are an assistant editor on the show.
That's correct.
You worked on 4 episodes. Can you briefly go over which ones?
I did. Yes, I did. So I worked on the pilot, episode 104, that premieres next week.
Nice.
7, and the finale, which is going to be pretty epic.
Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm
Really
so
excited.
excited.
I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can't wait. 10 episode season. We're barely on the 3rd, so it's good. We got 7 more weeks. Ooh.
Yes.
Can't wait. All right. So for those watching and don't know exactly what an assistant editor does, can you please enlighten them?
Yeah, so an assistant editor, they assist the editor. And what that entails is, when we get all the footage in from Belfast, because that's where we shoot, we have to organize it all in Avid. That's what we use to cut.
Okay.
And so all the footage makes sense to the editor so that they got all their clips. It's all in a bin, organized in such a way where they can just start cutting. And so once the assembly's done, the editor's assembly is done, we go in and we do all the sound effects. And it's all temporary because our sound team replaces everything later. But when you're playing a rough cut back for producers, directors, and for the studio, it's got to sound like a show. It's got to sound like it's gonna sound when it airs. So we do everything. We do all the crowd sound effects, the laser sound effects, skimmers flying through the air, and stuff like that. So yeah, and there's a lot of work with that. And then when we're done with that, like the delivery aspects of the show, like we're prepping everything for all the visual effects houses. We're prepping everything for it to be color corrected and sound mixed, and archiving everything at the end. So
Okay.
yeah.
It's a huge team effort.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of people involved on the show.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're like the unsung heroes for like the preparation before things get
Yeah.
shipped out to get that final touch on it.
Yeah. I am very much Clark Kent.
Hey, you want the glasses? Oh, you have your
Yeah,
own
I
glasses.
have the glasses. But when it's time, like when there's a problem, they come off and then
That's what. Yeah. That's what
the
you
show
go.
comes out.
Like,
You
all
gotta
right.
save the day,
Awesome.
Well, I mean, you said that you have been a huge Superman fan throughout your entire life.
Yes.
What is it like working on this show?
It's a dream come true. Honestly, I've been a fan since I was 2 years old. If you go to my Twitter, like I have a picture where my mom made me the costume.
Oh,
she
sick.
did the literally like the shirt and the cape, like because you couldn't buy that stuff like
Right.
at Target or something. Like nowadays, like kids are so spoiled. They get all. They can be Batman, they can be Superman, they can be whoever they want to be. But back then, my mom made all that stuff. And then I read the comics, watched all the movies. So when this came along, I was like, yeah, like I'm in.
Oh, that's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like this is a show I'd actually watch. For sure.
And can you just run us through a quick like what's a day in the life for you when on working on set and everything?
So we're never on set because that's in Belfast, but at the office, so on a typical day when we have dailies come in, I'll come into work, and there'll be a drive, an external hard drive ready with all the footage on it. I'll bring it in to the Avid, and then start organizing everything for the editor. They'll start cutting, and then we're constantly getting footage in, so it's like there's never a dull moment there. And so I'm organizing binders with the scripts, and then I'm just doing all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said before, like when it's time to do sound effects, I do sound effects and all that kind of thing. But it varies because like sometimes I get a chance to cut, like the finale. I have a scene that my editor Steve Haugen graciously let me cut, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
So I'll have to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back talking.
Yeah,
have
so-
you talk on that?
What?
I said, we'll have you talk on that.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
of course.
What was it like seeing it on TV?
Yeah, dude, totally. And and as an aside, if you guys were at the Comic-Con panel for Krypton, I cut the trailer for that. That was at
That's
the panel.
awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
that was really fun. It was just for the panel, but me and Andrew Charlton, the post producer, we both worked on that, and so we were both really proud of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so stuff like that comes up. I mean, from day to day, things will come up, and you're just in it the whole time.
So I've also noticed you worked on Teen Wolf and also The Gifted.
Yes, that's correct.
And I was just wondering, like, what separates this apart from those projects?
So I would say Teen Wolf, such an ambitious show, and we had a lot going on, and we had one visual effects house that did tremendous work, used visual effects, and Gifted, I would say we had a little bit more visual effects houses working on that, a lot more going on since it's a Fox, it's a network show, and then SYFY. This has been the biggest amount of visual effects that it's a visual effects heavy show, but the visual effects really tell the story. So like we can't just have people walking around green screens and stuff like that. Like we have to build the world.
Right.
So this is the first world building show. Like we can't have Seg answering a cell phone. Like, hey, what's up? He's got to have a Kryptonian. Like, what does that sound like? The Kryptonian communicators,
Right.
and like the blasters, like all that stuff has to be sound designed, and all that stuff has to have visual effects to it. So that is unique in and of itself. The world building aspect of it is like we have to really think about what these things look like and sound like.
Wow.
Yeah.
And all the so you have to think about all the little meticulous little
Yes.
details that people wouldn't even think about.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So like how does that work? How do you start on creating such little small details for a world that doesn't actually exist? Like where do you draw inspiration for that?
So it begins with the writer. So our writing team and Cam Welsh, our showrunner, like they, their scripts are the blueprint for what the world is going to be like. But then, obviously the director has their say in how that gets shot, and then our visual effects team, which is on set, they're the ones like, okay, you might use this camera angle, or we might need this shot to kind of help with that. So our visual effects team is constantly getting all the information, all the footage, and assessing it and seeing what can be pulled up. And our showrunner, Cam, is involved early on, like very early on. We're talking before the editor's cut. Like we're already looking at the stuff and looking at concept art. Like we have a concept artist and a production designer. It's like they've drawn out all this stuff. Like this is what this is supposed to look like. That's what that's supposed to look like. But then like you get the footage and it might be something different. There might be something in the footage that kind of pushes it further, or maybe it makes it look a little different. So you have to kind of course correct from there. So it's a little bit of really planning it out, which is what we do in post, and also working with our showrunner Cam. But then also sometimes we manipulate stuff after the fact. So,
wow, that's interesting. I gotta say, there's just so many little details.
Yeah, there are.
They're just
Yeah.
oh my God, I can't even like. That's why it's such a collaborative effort, because it has to be so many people. Think of just
Everybody.
like what's the sound like a sound of a blaster gonna sound like.
Yeah, all these things have been discussed.
But I
Wow.
feel like that's like a really
It's
cool
overwhelming.
challenge.
It is.
At the same time, like overwhelming, yes, but it's like
Yeah.
you get to create something completely new. Like, have you been able to give any input on like where like all of your comic book fandom, like have you been able to chime in on different things?
Here and there, but like I would say for the most part, the writing has, Cam is a fan,
Right.
Huge fan of Superman. So a lot of the stuff he's written is like, oh yeah, that's from this and that, and You know, so he knows all that stuff. But I'll get a question occasionally. But it's always like something that has never been addressed in the comic books at all. Like, what is a Kryptonian mile? Like, what is that in Kryptonian? Like, it's not a mile, but what's it called? And I'm like, I'm sure there's a term or something that I just don't know. But like a lot of those little small details, like the writers all look at.
You have to, I feel like, with this type of show.
Yeah, like you literally can't let any little thing go.
Yeah.
Because people will point it out. They will. So.
Yeah.
So.
Is there like a lot of pressure that you feel that you have to do right by the fans?
I felt a lot of personal pressure on this. I mean, I knew it was going to be great, but like I'm a fan, so like I want all the fans to like it. That was very important to me. So like when the premiere was happening, you know, I was getting heart palpitations. You know, like how are people going to react to this? Because and everybody else too is huge fans. Like everyone behind the scenes is a fan of the show and a fan of Superman. And if they weren't before, they are now.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody is so heavily invested in the show doing well. So the fact that people responded to it really well means a lot. And also people that we won over with that were non-Superman fans. That like, I don't even like Superman, but I like this. And that speaks volumes to the show's content. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm more on the latter. Like, I'm not. It's not like I dislike Superman. I just was never really.
You just want to wear the cape.
Yeah, I mean, I love the cape.
That's the only reason why he signed up for the show. He was like, I have a cape. Let's do this.
Right?
Yeah, they promised me tights too, but they never came through with that. So I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. No, but going back to working on this show, what was the pacing like working on this show? Was it like super fast? Things were coming at you at 100 miles per hour, then you had to just get it done, or?
Yeah, I mean, it would come quickly, and it was sort of a lot of like when the footage initially starts coming in, it's like, okay, we got to get this put all together so we can see like the scope of it and know where we can start working with the visual effects. But you know, it's been really relaxed lately because everything's still happening. We're still finishing the shows, but I mean, everything's locked. Picture-wise, and now we're working on visual effects and the music. So it's sort of like a lot of stop and go kind of thing. But everything's been planned out so well that we have that kind of room to, make the world more detailed, like you guys have been pointing out. It's like with the visual effects and the sound and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, in the beginning, there was a huge rush to like get the pilot kind of finished, and then assess from there, like do all the focus group screenings, all that kind of stuff, and then. The second episode, that would be another rush to get that out. But as soon as like episode 3 was, this current episode was finished, like I think there was a nice,
sigh relief.
like normal schedule after that for everybody. But yeah, I mean, everybody works really hard on these episodes for sure. But yeah,
wow,
it's good stuff.
You have anything else?
No, not right now, but I'm sure I will come up with something as we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to ask one last question before we get into the episode. So you're a huge fan of this show.
Yes.
And a lot of people who work on this show are also huge fans.
Yes.
And I would just like give you the moment to personally just address like what do you want? What have you loved most about working on this show, and also what do you want fans to take away from this show?
So what I love the most about working on this show is it's different from anything that has been done with Superman. It's not the same thing you've seen a million times. It's unique. And if I was going to work on any Superman project, it would be this one, for the pure fact that we can add something new to the mythos. And if I can add even a small detail about my favorite character's mythos, that's going to be one of the best things that I could ask for as a comic book fan.
That's huge. Yeah.
What I want people to take away is that I want people to know that this show that it has legs. I think you're gonna see a lot of great stuff come out of it, and the cast I think is wonderful. I think the writing is really great. I think our post team is really great, and I just want everybody to know that we're putting a lot of hard work into this, and we're really happy that everyone's enjoying it. So yeah.
I'm interested to see how far along it goes. You know,
Yes.
because like you said, you are creating a whole new world that hasn't been shared within this realm. So like, how it's going to develop and how it's going to continue on after one season, because you have 10 episodes. Like, how is it going to evolve and change and still fall within the realm of like what people love? So I'm excited to see it. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Is there like already plans for the next season, or like how do you know how far along they have, like, in a sense?
I have a sense of it.
Ooh.
I feel like you almost, with this type of world, you have to have like almost a map.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like completely structured,
like
but
a
like some
timeline.
type of like a timeline, right?
I think what current studios want you to do now, or networks, they want you to plan for multiple seasons before you write even the pilot.
Yeah.
They want to see like what your plan is. But yeah, I have a sense of what is to come.
Do you have to have a sense of that as you go into the editing room?
It's good to have it, a
Yeah.
frame of mind. Yeah, but I would say that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves.
Of course.
But yeah, no, it is good to know, like, especially with the other episodes, like, where do we end up? I think all the editors are constantly talking with each other, like, where do you guys end up? So like when we set you up, like, we'll, properly introduce that moment.
Right.
Well, it's almost like what we were talking about earlier with like Rom, of like that shot that we saw in last episode to set you up for like this entire episode. So like the different, like how communicative you guys have to be in order to like, this shot is going to be really important.
Yeah.
Maybe not until episode 6, but it has to be there, kind of thing.
Sure.
So
for sure.
Oh. Yeah, it's some great planning there.
Yeah, it's very well planned out.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, I'm so happy you shared that message. That was a great message. Really enjoyed that, and I'm also happy that you're on the show, and I'm happy that for the people who work on this show, because it's a great show, and we're gonna keep enjoying it, and we're gonna get into this great show.
Yeah.
But first, we should know about this other great show.
Oh, well, I just have a question for you guys. Do you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of life? For those of you who do, we have a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by AFTERBUZZ TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. And let our Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it's free, for free. And be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us that sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition, you better go check it out, because it's awesome.
Honestly,
I love it.
I mean, you learn from her, but on top of that, you learn from the great guests that she brings in. So
it's
like,
amazing. And I think you see different aspects of these people that come on, because we always see like this one idea of these people, and then to be able to have that conversation and really delve into different aspects of their life. Like, I know I, as a fan, like relatability, and to really hear like all the other stories. So I think it's really cool.
I
love it.
agree.
Yeah.
Right on.
So go subscribe.
Oh yeah, every Friday, and it's free 99. So
That's the best kind of 99 there is. Free 99.
yeah, I agree.
Sweet.
I got jokes, guys, for days.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
I like that.
All right, y'all. So now let's get into it. So I'm thinking we get into the Rankless initiative.
Oh yeah.
All right. So pretty much, the military guild is gonna raid Sector 19. It happens to be Seg's neighborhood, and
Yeah.
I was like, is this maybe just a coincidence, or is this more to it?
I mean, they're attacking all of them. It's not just Sector 19.
They're attacking all of them.
Yeah,
But I
all
thought
of the
they said it was
Rankless. There's 4 different spaces, right? Wasn't there 4 on the map?
Yeah, well, in Sector 19, there was a concentration of Black Zero
There.
operatives.
Oh.
So operations going on. So they were sort of going
They're
around.
zeroing in.
Yes. Yes.
on the stronghold.
Yes. On the
Yes.
stronghold. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yes.
And so,
Seg's neighborhood.
so we go over the battle plans with Jaina Primus, along with Lyta.
Lighter.
Yep.
Lyta.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Yeah, and so we learned that it's gonna be like, in a sense, their main priority is gonna be Sector 19, because there's that accumulation of a little
Black
hot
Zero.
spot of Black Zero, exactly. And then also we get the scene of Lyta and Seg, and Seg's pretty mad at her as to why she risked her life,
Yeah, I mean, I would be too.
right? But is he in the right though? I mean, like, yo, she risked her life for the betterment of the Rankless, and then you're just gonna be like, hey man, what's going on? Well, at first I guess because he didn't know, maybe that's why he was mad. So I'm guessing I'll chalk it up to that.
I think it's just a lack of communication.
Yeah.
We'll chalk it up to that, okay?
Because he's just like, oh, he backs off once he realizes that, oh yeah, you're right. You did a great thing. I'm so sorry. Which I thought was
I'm trying to protect you. Just let me protect you, okay?
Yeah, I wrote like, don't be sore, Seg. Come on, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah, I mean, Lyta's a strong character.
She really is. I mean, I think she proved that even in the last episode and going into this episode. It was interesting to see where we talked about it in the last after show of how she's going to take over this command and fall into that role, because she seems like a really good-hearted, spirited person, but when you got this type of like obligation and leadership, how do you keep your morals in check when you have to, take command and actually do what you're being told?
And you have to keep in mind, she's a Zod, too,
Yeah,
because Zods
exactly.
value honor over everything and strict discipline. And emotions do not factor into that at all. And she's being, she's sort of a hybrid. She, wants to support the community of the Rankless because of Seg. So she's relying on her emotions there, her human nature. But she's also fighting the Zod part of her.
Right.
And also appeasing her mother.
Which I think is a huge, huge thing.
Yeah.
And not even just appeasing her, I think proving that she's worthy of this position too.
That's a better point, yeah.
Yeah, of I want to make you happy, but at the end of the day, I just want you to believe that I'm capable of doing this and in my own way too. So that was interesting to see her completely disregard all command.
I wanted to bring that up next, actually, because we see that she disobeys a direct order from her mother.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think about that? There's got to be some dire consequences.
I'm scared for her, man.
Right?
I am too.
Ugh.
Jaina is not somebody you want to
Mess with at all. I mean, she stabbed her in
I
the
was
first
about to
episode.
say, stabbed in the
She
first-
stabbed the daughter.
So what is she gonna do now?
Now, after a simple
You hung up
sparring
on
match,
me.
yeah, she's like,
Well, she also didn't she kind of go behind her and reach out to why am I blanking on his name? Asking about when he was in the communication center. She didn't
to say,
right, the communications hub. Yeah. So there's definitely, when it was funny because she says that line. Lyta says that line of, we're devoid of emotion to make sure this mission will be success. But then she let her guard down with Seg giving the bomb away, essentially that electronic bomb, and totally bypassed her mom, just sort of went rogue and did her own thing because she's trusting Seg. Because earlier, Seg's don't you trust me? And she kind of curbs him a little bit, nah, I got to do my job. You gotta trust in me that I'm gonna do the right thing. So there's definitely tension in their relationship in this episode for sure.
Yeah, and it brings up this two sides to the same coin of Lyta, where on one hand she wants to be the best commander she can be, but in order to do that she does have to, in a sense, give way to all emotion, and also in order to appease her mother and all. But on the other side, she still has that more, in my opinion, more humanity than the rest of them do in the military guild.
Absolutely.
And that's usually anchored down by Seg and what she does for Seg and what she does for Seg and the Rankless.
Yeah.
So it's you have this weird dichotomy between her where it's weird because this puts me at a loss, because if she wants to be the best commander, it sounds like she's probably gonna have to get rid of the emotions she has for Seg, or what's how Seg bogs her down, and it's possible we might see that later on.
I don't know. I think yes and no. I think also with becoming a great leader, sometimes you do have to keep humanity into play. Yes, there are obviously moves and counter moves and having to be strategic and devoid of emotion sometimes, but other times I feel like her way around dealing with the Rankless got her more respect and got her further working with the Rankless rather than them coming in and just shooting up everybody, which is what they typically do. So her way of gaining trust from those other people because she has that humanity, I think will ultimately put her at a higher position within her in command. I think she'll be more respected by more people rather than just being that's it, no emotion. Maybe that's just me. I think honestly, it would be interesting to see her mother and her having to come to the forefront, because I think that Lyta would be a better and stronger commander than her mother.
Yeah.
Primus. Have Lyta as Primus?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
don't know. That would just be my, like...
Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe that's me.
And then what would have to happen in order for Lyta to become
I mean,
Primus?
she would have to kill her mother.
Or maybe,
Right? Right?
Maybe.
Wouldn't you have to?
Unless
Wouldn't it
her
be the
mother-
same type of protocol?
Unless her mother calls for mercy.
Oh.
And she doesn't kill her.
No.
Oh.
Okay, we're getting way too off topic.
Yeah, my
Way
bad.
too off topic. I'm sorry. I went down the wormhole.
Something I do want to go back and mention during the battle plans. They mentioned the Black Zero terrorist Jax Ur. So real quick, in the usual canon, he is a Black Zero terrorist, but he's also a person who was imprisoned in the Phantom Zone for destroying Wegthor, which was a populated moon of Krypton.
Wethkor, sorry.
What was that?
Wethkor.
Wethkor?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's like Kryptonian moon.
Okay. No, yeah, it was a populated moon of Krypton.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I learned something new.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
maybe
See, all the gems. You've got all the tidbits.
I have a feeling I'm not sure if like this canon will actually carry out or like what he does in the said canon will carry out, because there hasn't really been too many mentions of like moons around Krypton, you know. But who knows? Maybe there's still a lot of episodes to go. They could introduce a whole new moon with like people in there and Jax or
They're not alone, remember?
I know they're not alone, but like that's like Brainiac sense they're not alone. But what about like Kandor and Krypton among with like its orbiting moons? Like they haven't touched on it yet, but we'll see. But yeah, let's just keep that in mind for sure. Jax Or, that's his name. Oh yeah, so I just wanted to go over that a bit, and then also, oh yeah, I want to see also before we go into that, Dev M, he also shares his little thoughts on the raid on the Rankless, and it's pretty much reinforcing what we talked about.
His loyalty.
Week. Yeah, yeah. Can you touch on that again? Because you told me before the show.
Oh, of just seeing his loyalty. I mean, I think he definitely is. Like, you can tell. I mean, I love when I can see actors and in their eyes how much they give to the story without even saying anything. And I think you see his true loyalty when he picks up Quex's like uniform and like even walks away and just says, "This is your space now." The way he said it with the emotion that was heavy, like you can tell that he's a loyal human being, and that he, as much as he is a military person and he has like his family backstory that we don't really know about, like driving his intensity within the military realm, I think he does really want to protect and give as much guidance to Lyta as he possibly can. Like I feel like his heat and warning in that like small scene was just like, listen, it's a command is a command is a command. Like you have to do what they give you orders. But at the same time, I still feel like he has that underlying humanity that is just waiting to be opened up like Lyta does too.
And I think, sorry to interrupt you.
Go for
but
it.
yeah, I definitely think Lyta brings out that humanistic side of him. But he's pretty much I think what I got from him was like he's trying to just like drill into her like his way of thinking about how the military works, but she's just like no, like.
But then also at the same time, he's like, "This is what you asked for," and didn't he say something like, "I shouldn't tell that to a commander"?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was the line that she said? She said something, and then he was like, "I shouldn't have to tell you."
Well, yeah, she was sort of questioning the orders.
Right,
Like
there you go.
we should do that, and he's like, "We don't question."
And then
Yeah,
she
and I
goes. She
shouldn't
comes.
have to tell you that.
And she comes out with a great line, I believe, after that, where she says, "Well, I killed men in order to open my mouth," or something along those lines, where I killed men in order to question them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Dang, that's also very powerful too. Like, what's the point of being in like a
higher position rather than having a say
if you have no
something.
influence?"
Yeah.
Like she took a man's life in order to get to gain this influence over the fourth squad. So it's just it was just really.
I think it's a complex relationship for sure. I'm interested to see like how loyal he stays, or if he's going to kind of override her at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like it could go either way
That's true.
with him. Whether
Yeah.
he's going to be loyal or whether he'll like think that he knows better and try and like
I feel like
bypass her.
Yeah, I feel like for them, there's gonna be a certain critical point where it's gonna be blatantly clear what side he chooses. Probably later on in the future though, because not in this episode. He's kind of just seen for that little scene, and then we don't really seen too much for that.
No, but he was a powerful scene.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, so before they move out, Lyda makes a point that no unauthorized weapons of firing or kills will be met, and they will be met with severe disciplinary consequences.
That braided girl, what was her name?
Cole Da, yeah.
I didn't trust her from that scene.
Yeah.
I didn't trust her. Her face, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, so
she's up to trouble.
Just speaking to the editor of this episode, Scott, he did a wonderful job cutting this episode, and I'm sure he found that moment where she's a little shifty-eyed there,
yes.
and that made you not trust her right away.
No, not at all.
So that was definitely a great moment. I agree. Like you just knew, like I don't like her.
Yeah, she was almost stepping like a centimeter further in front of everybody than in line.
Yep.
So it's almost like her having this like power, like, I don't believe you, I don't trust you. I'm not going to listen to your orders.
She steps out of line, and metaphorically, in the scene, and then later on, as we find out.
Yeah. I really like what I noticed. Like, I really liked the setup to the climax of Cole Da killing that Rankless, because from the moment you hear Lyda say those words, where like it will be met with like dire consequences, you're kind of already expecting it.
Yeah.
And you're already expecting, like, all right, they set it up in your head, boom, something's going to happen. What? And then, like, for me, I was like, all right, so what are they going to be those consequences? Because something's going to happen. Someone's going to get these consequences she's talking about. And then cut to Shifty Eyes, and then it's perfect. Setting it up, boom.
Shifty Eyes.
Shifty Eyes, Cold Doll over here.
Yeah.
So, and then next you know, boom, there's our person. There's so in our minds, like, okay, she's the one who's going to mess something up. So it's like, it's cool because there's like slowly tension building. And then you see...
Good job.
Yeah, which I thought was...
Well, good job to Scott.
Yes, there you go. Good job, Scott.
Yes.
So it's like slow tension building until you finally see Cole Da. Like, it gets a little out of hand. She shoots an unarmed Rankless man. And and then that's when you see Lyda come up. And then she serves up justice pretty much to Cole Da.
And I think she had to overarch and do something that big and drastic because number one, all of the Rankless are watching you.
Yeah.
How are you going to do this? I've already tried to get your respect, and now like my people are going behind my back without my orders. Like I have to prove myself to everyone, so I'm going to give out the biggest punishment possible in front of all this audience. Because if not, like you're not going to get the respect back from anybody, whether it be your troops or the people that you're trying to round up. Like you have to get that, and you have to make that big of emotion. But yeah.
Sometimes the right thing to do is not the easiest thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some people are going to hate you for it. Sure.
So with this decision, Lyda, by arresting Cole Da, it makes, in a sense, I can see like new enemies coming out from within the military guild, but also I see new for lack of a better, what was that? Alliances. I was about to say homies.
That works too. Homies,
homies. My bad. That's my slang coming out of it. No, definitely like new alliances among the Rankless, and like maybe there's possible also from the military guild who share the same sentiment who are going to come out of the woodworks, but like finally like a commander who has some humanity in her, who like I actually like her decisions, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then that might go into some sort of game that Lyda will start playing. Will like amassing, alliances.
What if she's a
within the
double
military.
agent?
For who? For what?
Oh.
What?
Well, she has these orders that she's completely like going against, right? So like, what if she starts like not befriending, but like getting the relationship with all the Rankless, and they help her find Black Zero without having the power of like, I don't know. Maybe that's just overshooting.
That
you
is
know what I mean?
that is interesting. You did touch on something that because she showed
mercy.
Yeah, to the Rankless, it's possible that they're more likely to help out. It's kind of going back to how like the voice of Rao gave Seg the choice to not wear the Vex sigil. It's like that kind of same principle where like that's how you control them, by helping them out in a sense.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's actually really cool. It's a good point.
They say keep your enemies closer.
Yeah, I think that's a key. That's starting to become like a key phrase here in the show.
Yep.
All right, and so that rounds out that. So she gives that huge punishment for.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't that huge punishment piss off
Daron?
Daron, thank you.
Yeah. So that's actually towards the end of like that whole arc in a sense, where you see Cole Da like in handcuffs and they walk past Daron and Nissa.
Yeah.
And then Daron practically just like poops himself. He's like, oh boy.
So was that his plug that he put in the military? That's like his person?
Well, I think he's in that scene. He's panicking because the voice
Voice-
of Rao is
yeah.
who he has to answer
course,
to.
yeah.
Like, oh, this whole initiative was a failure,
Right.
And now I got to answer to my golden face boss.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another
So
character
that-
I don't want to mess with.
That's actually
No, not at all.
So we just so they just pretty much like tease us that he's in trouble somehow.
Yeah.
And then they don't really go back to it for the episode. So that's for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's definitely in hot water.
Yes.
Yeah, and also so is Lita.
Lida.
Lida. Jesus. So is Lida in hot water, like a Lida. There you go.
There you go, like a light up.
Yeah. So there's two people in hot water. So it's Daron and Lida in hot water.
Yeah.
Lida's in hot water with his mom. Daron's in hot water with his voice of Rao. We'll have to see what save that for predictions for the next episode.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it rounds out. And also at the end, it's worth noting that she disobeyed that order. So she helps out Seg and gives him the EMP grenade, and that is what helps Seg take out Rom. So that pretty much covers that little story arc for the Rankless initiative. But Seg and Adam and Kem were up to doing their thing, looking for this parasitic sentry. So pretty much that they found in the Outlands, that little probe thing. So, but before we get into that, so real quick, everybody, here at AfterBuzz TV, again, we want to be the ESPN of TV talk. But in order to do that, you fans have to do your part in helping us out. So how do you do that? How do you do your part, you ask? I'm glad you asked, actually, because...
How do I do that?
Yes,
There
I'm
you
glad
go.
you asked. Thank you.
I would like to know more.
I'm imagining they're asking
Tell me
yeah.
more.
So pretty much wherever you find your podcast, specifically, especially if you're on iTunes, please leave a review and also rate 5 stars. And subscribe to our podcast, and then you'll be updated when our new episodes drop, and then you can be, updated on like the talk for Krypton. Why wouldn't you want that?
I felt like a flight attendant over here. I was like
Yeah.
doing all the different motions, like
There you go.
5 stars.
There you go. And also, if you're on YouTube, give us those thumbs up. Give us that like, because I'm sure you like it. Why wouldn't you? And if you don't like it, tell us. And if you do like it, go ahead and tell us as well. Because I'm reading those comments. Later on, we're gonna try and shout everyone out who comments on our episodes of last week. There's quite a few of you, so thank you so much for turning up, and also the great positive feedback that you have given us. We actually didn't get any negative feedback this time around.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
Boom.
Super
That's a
fine.
long reach.
I know. It's very
It's very
almost
far.
threw
There's a
out my
long
arm.
distance.
Pulled it off. Though.
Faster than a speeding bullet. All right. All right, everyone. So yeah, please do your part, and we'll keep bringing on the good stuff for you. Next week, Steph will be back. So unfortunately, I'll be over there. Not unfortunately, actually.
Hey.
Fortunately, I'll be hanging with Candice.
I don't smell. Maybe I do. Apparently, with that pause.
So, anyways, let's get back to the show. I'm just kidding. You don't smell.
I'm keeping these.
I need them to work.
No.
They
Continue.
protect my super
Continue.
eyes. All right. So let's get into it. The hunt for the Brainiac sentry and what I like to call Romniac. All right. So
Good little name.
a good little name, right? All right. So pretty much where we left off, they find this little probe that actually ends up being a case, right, for the parasitic sentry that's within it. And it's definitely coming from Brainiac. So that's established. And so they cut to a flashback, right? We see Rom pick up the probe because she got a new job
3 days earlier.
right? Didn't I mention that?
There you go.
So she's part of the salvage. She's part of the lucky new salvage crew member who gets to go out into those awesome looking outlands. Look very nice.
And warm, and
And
tropical.
warm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to stay there forever.
She got
course.
some tanning done, I'm sure. And yeah, so she finds it, and she goes back to the city. She actually ends up selling it off, but that turns out to be a misdirect because later on Adam does steal it, and they take it back. He takes it back to the fortress. Turns out it's already been activated. Ooh.
But I don't think she realized. I feel for Rom. I do, because all she really wants to do is take care of her daughter.
Of course,
That's all
yeah.
she wants to do. And then now, she's doing the best job that she possibly can, and this thing is now taking over her body. The woman can't catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, it's just bad luck. Do you think she was infected when like?
I think at that shot, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that shot where they like zoom in and the thing opens and her eyes get really big, I almost feel like that was the moment that it kind of like
The moment of contact.
where it latched and she just didn't know.
That was my interpretation of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
because there's no like there's no showing of how it infected her. It
But
could
it
have been like
also
some
looked
sort
like it
of-
was very small. It could have been something that just like and grew because a parasite grows once it feeds on its host. So maybe it was something very like little bitty because the container that he got was like what, that big?
Yeah, it was like a little
Ish.
like cube
So
looking
it could
thing.
have been a really tiny thing that you wouldn't even notice. She had to have not noticed.
I was thinking it could have been like some sort of like neurotoxin that like sprayed into her, and then like it could have been like super what are those called, like nanobites that just like slowly grow through. I don't know what
Do we know what it was?
what,
Not yet.
I guess
Not
like
yet.
the
So
way
we'll
it
find out.
infected,
Yep.
we don't know yet, but we can speculate. Go ahead and speculate down below as well, everybody. Tell us what you think and how like Brainiac works, pretty much. I did mention in the character corner last week that he is able to control
Technology. He's a
technology,
technopath.
but also control humans or control people, and then this is showing how he was able to take over Rom. Like,
Yeah.
So cross that one off the checklist out of the many powers he has. Because once she also turned, let's get into how when she turned, she like straight up
3 days.
smoked. Yeah, it did take 3 days actually. Also, on a quick side bit, was she infected when she paid her respects to Seg already?
No,
No,
I don't think so.
because it could like who knows how long it could have taken her to like.
Timeline wise, he'd already buried his parents, so she came and gave respects like before he had the urn, correct?
It was after he had the urn.
Or right after he had
Yeah.
the urn? Yeah, well, I think it still happened. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, who knows? Comment down below on that too. Because I don't
Timeline-wise?
think there's like I don't think there's like a significance to that. But it's possible it could have taken 3 days for her to like finally be like fully, or maybe it was a stressful situation that finally like brought her overboard with being taken over by Brainiac. But who knows what the catalyst was really to fully? It could have been time. It could have just been like something stressful. Who knows? I would love to hear speculation though. And so she like straight up slays like 3 of these military guild dudes.
She looked like it was very easy for her.
Yeah, so I'm guessing she got like super. I'm guessing whatever was Brainiac infected her with gave her like superpowers. Then right, it had to be because that's something that Brainiac himself has. So it's possible she until just like grew like all buffed up. Just
Well, I mean, again, it's like a parasite. So if you're making a derivative from yourself and making it into a parasite, like you would essentially take over some of the powers from the original host, right? That would make sense.
I will say, just as a comic book reference for anyone
Right.
who's interested in that kind of
lay
thing,
it on us.
A major influence on that sort of sentry type thing was introduced in Brainiac #1 from New 52. For anyone who knows this, like when the Forever Evil crossover event happened, they had one-shot events for all the villains, and Brainiac #1 was a comic book all about Brainiac's backstory. And one of the things introduced into that was that Brainiac could empower other beings with his abilities.
That's,
So
yeah.
that's something that I know the writers took note of and put into the show. So I'm glad you guys took note of that. Like, oh, it's a new power, like a new thing.
I mean, there are like a lot of similarities when we see the last shot. Like, obviously, he's all green in the eyes. She had the eyes and like the green pulsating through her arms and stuff. So like,
Tying it
there
all
were a
together.
lot of like tie-ins together
Yeah.
between the two.
By the way, that was great special effects too, and like
Oh
makeup.
God, that was.
Oh.
Oh, it made my eyes water.
That green skin, like it was like skin, but also looked a little hardened
And
too. I
glowing.
was like, ooh.
Yeah. Our visual effects teams are great.
And those eyes,
they're really good.
I kept thinking there was like ones and zeros just like crossing through or like going through her eyes.
Well,
Like,
they were like the
they look like
symbols,
numbers, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
They're symbols
okay.
of their language.
I
yeah.
was trying to, because if I had a chance to like zoom in on it and see what it said, but like I think it's Kryptonian.
Yeah.
But I can't be for sure. But it looks like it's this digital readout.
I'm assuming
stuff.
it would be too, because isn't she supposed to be there to take in all of the information from
Yeah.
Krypton? So it's like if she went into
Yeah.
the communication center, she probably like ingested all of Kryptonian like
Yeah.
information,
That would
and
make
it was
sense.
reading over her eyes.
Yeah. So that leads us to
cool.
like the final showdown, pretty much. Yeah. So at the
It's a
communication
final show.
the communication station. Communication station. All right. I like how that sounds.
We call it the communications hub. So
Communications hub.
yeah.
it's okay too. All right. So yeah, back at the communications hub. So we see a fully developed, what I now call, the Brainiac. And she's plugged into the system and she's like becoming one with the station, which inevitably she's probably just downloading everything about Krypton. And
then she destroys it. Does she ingest it that quickly? Because she basically just like tore it out.
Yeah,
she was like hooked into everything, and all of a sudden she just like tears out the map. Or whatever.
Maybe to gain more access to it, or I wouldn't know why she would.
Just plugging in.
Just plug in.
That's what I was guessing. Like, like tear it out so she can plug in more.
Yeah.
And then so that's when you see the showdown between her and Seg, and Seg looked like he's gonna be out for the count because you see her like you see the technopathic powers she uses to like choke him out with like
the cord.
Yeah.
Oh.
Scary.
Yeah, it was very death by hanging by. It was just really bad.
But kudos to him for keeping his calm during that moment and like really using the emotional aspect to get her to like remember her daughter, even if it was for a split second. That was enough split second that all he needed to like get what he needed to like blow everything
Real quick,
out.
I don't know if it was just me, but I got like when I saw that scene, I got echoes of Batman versus Superman, where it's like, Martha, you need to save Martha. It was like Seg telling Rom, like, think about your child. You know, you love her. Think about how much you love her. Don't do this. Fight the thing that's inside of you. So he pleads to her humanity, whatever humanity is left within her, and that kind of messes with Brainiac's programming within her, which was interesting. What do you guys think about that? Do you think like love has something to do with stopping Brainiac?
Ooh, I didn't think about that, but that could be like his downfall.
Love, human emotion.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You'd have to have a lot of it in order to.
In the comics, Brainiac's downfall's often been his hubris. Like he just overlooks, because he's a computer, so he looks through every single type of scenario possible that he could be defeated. But every time he's been beaten by Superman or whoever, it's always something he overlooks. And so I think hubris, obviously an emotion, that plays into, so it could easily be something that
he overlooks.
He just overlooks one variable.
Because computers can't process emotion.
Right.
They can dictate like what it is, but they can't feel it.
Yeah, they can study it, but they will never be able to have it themselves. Well, at least as far as we know, where we're at in like human civilization,
AI and all that good stuff.
Yeah, all that good jive. But that's here nor there.
That's a cool idea though to think of. Like, what would be his demise? What is that one like weak little Achilles heel that you have to figure out?
So far in the like, I don't know what's gonna stop that ship. It's huge.
No, it's huge, and it looks so gross.
I know. It looks
like with all the little feelers and stuff at the bottom, and the vines.
Yeah.
Are they vines or veins?
Tendrils.
There you go.
The other tendrils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that ship though. The way it looks, it's
man.
pretty.
Yeah,
I'm over here like, and you're like, I love it.
I get some kind of like, what is it, H. Geiger kind of like style to it. I guess the person in charge of the arts department for the first Alien movie, or like his influence on all that. His art. Yeah. It was very like bioorganic, like good nasty
And
stuff.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with when Tim Burton was going to direct a Superman movie, like back in the 90s, called Superman Lives. And I know they were trying to make the Skull ship work in that when they were going to make the movie.
Right.
And so I'm sure there was inspiration drawn
from that.
Yeah, from
That's
that.
cool.
And then we did our own thing with it, obviously, to make it cool. But yeah, like it's massive. It's a monolith.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't think we've seen how big it really is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any like relation to like see the scale.
Yeah,
against
because
anything,
we know it's bigger than like these asteroids that keep hitting it, but we don't know we'll have to see how the
like
scale
it relates the scale. Yeah.
Well, we can't. I guess we'll have to see it once it like arrives next to Krypton. It's just like boop, Krypton, and like Brainiac. So we'll see. But yeah, so that showdown goes down. Seg is able to save her and takes her out. Yeah. We're not sure if she's. Yeah, I was about to say we're not sure if she's like capable of being saving. They bring her back to the fortress. She's laying down. There's no indication of whether she's being able to be saved, but they're gonna try. So
I mean,
sure
all the
that's for
information's
next
already been
episode.
transmitted according to.
Yeah, that's a big thing of the episode where everyone's just like looks at each other like. So it turns out
It's already too late.
Brainiac herself was the transmitter. Yep. So boom. So yeah. So pretty much what I get. So where do we go from here? I think Brainiac is making a beeline straight to Krypton.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. He's on his way. Like he's like
close.
He's like, oh, confirmed. Let's go.
Is
Full
that how he
steam
talks?
ahead. Yeah. Full steam
Put it
again.
in the GPS.
Yeah. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom on his
All right,
tom
we're
tom.
going.
He called
Let's
it
do
But
this.
don't use Waze, though.
knack knack.
No, because Waze will take you down the back road, so you can't turn left.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
use
yeah,
Waze.
yeah. He's using something else.
He created himself. He's like, no, I'm not using Waze. That's my.
I use my
That's
own
a child I don't
GPS.
talk about. All right, so yeah, so that's pretty much wraps up the episode portion. Did we miss anything or anything else you guys want to touch on or comment on for this episode?
No, I
Moving
think we
forward.
pretty much covered most of it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Real quick, we have about 7 minutes left. Unfortunately I'm gonna cut the character corner real quick. And
Just check on social media, and he can share his character corner there.
I mean, I will now. So
I just made him do that. Check out my social media. I'll put it on there for you. I'm just
no,
kidding.
yeah, we'll share it on. I was actually gonna cover Jack's Orr. There's not too much on him, but yeah, so he's just like the Black Zero terrorist. I'm sure we'll learn more about him as the show progresses.
Yeah.
I do, however, want to give out some fan shoutouts. So some YouTube commentators that we saw for the last episode. Oh, you don't have it open. I like that whole back and forth thing.
You want
we
to put
got.
it here, and I can read part
I
of it?
mean,
Mine died.
It might be a little
Brainiac
hard.
got to it. It killed it.
All right, so I'll go first. So Tribe Master,
Brian McGee,
Andrew Martin,
Cliff Washington.
the
Good luck with that one.
Targaryen Batman.
Yes, Gibbs 615.
Thank you so much for commentating.
Thank you very much.
And supporting. Really appreciate all that you've done for us. I'm actually gonna have to skip news and gossips as well because I feel like our predictions are huge today, like this time around. Like
And now,
Oh, that's new.
That was great timing. Good job.
thank you, Marissa in the booth. Shout out to Marissa Serafini. Nailing it. All right, so predictions. I have some already like queued up, but I want to hear like what you got going on.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I think I've talked a little bit about it. Obviously, Lyda's one of my favorite characters, so I'm interested to see like where she goes with this complete like deliberate avoidance of orders, of how that's going to strengthen her leadership and how much it's going to play into like her alliances with the Rankless and how much alliances she's going to have with Seg, because I think that the two of them have such a special relationship, how much she's going to get brought into, because she did see Rom when she was like already like knocked out. So she knows that there's something bigger in play outside of Black Zero. And I
Right.
wonder how much she's going to divert and like go away from Black Zero and kind of do like a covert like operation. So I'm seeing like a divide and alliance where she's almost like a double agent of like playing her role and appeasing her mother, but also like doing what she knows is right and keeping her humanity and like becoming the strongest leader that she possibly can. I'm also interested to see if like Rom is going to pull through, if they can like, I mean, the information's already been transmitted accordingly.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they can take the parasite off of her and she can share like what she may know,
Right.
or if she just dies as a host now because the parasites used her for what it is. So those are like my two biggest like questions and predictions.
Real quick, but
Yes.
piggybacking off of that,
Yes.
I love all your predictions. It's really hard to follow you up. But yeah, so going off of for Rom and
Yeah.
what's left of Brainiac, pretty much what I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if like you are able to, you know, in a sense, boot her back up, but she's not the Rom that we used to know. But and she also can't be set like given back to society to like live her normal life. So what if she like just hangs out the fortress and helps out Seg, and slowly we start seeing like Seg's kind of like go-to team for helping stop Brainiac. So she becomes a part of a member of this like Team Seg.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool because then she's also maybe some remnants of Brainiac's powers have stayed with her, and she becomes like a big proponent on leading the fight for Brainiac.
I'm also interested to see where Strange goes, because didn't he ask about his little time travel thing?
The Zeta Beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not working.
It's not working.
So I wonder
Yeah.
how that's going to play into everything.
So for now that's all right. He's stuck on Krypton right now. So
is that going to affect his powers the longer that he stays? Because he's not supposed to be in that realm to begin with.
who knows? Maybe he might turn into a Superman himself. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? That would be a twist. Forget all the rules. We're just changing it right now.
Also, another factor affecting Rom, what's going to happen to Ona and her daughter? Is Kem gonna be a father now?
I think
a step?
so.
Oh, they are related. I believe Ona. Yeah, Rom's his sister, because Ona calls him uncle, I believe, or says go with uncle.
Or it could just be
Uncle
a friend.
Cam.
Like I've had friends where I'm like Aunt Candice, and I'm not really the aunt.
They could be a friend. Yeah, I did read somewhere that they were related.
Are
but-
they related? Do we know, or is that like a crucial thing we're gonna find out?
We explain something in the next episode.
Yes. So we'll find out
For no
next
spoiler,
episode.
yeah. all right. And yeah, there's also Lyta disobeyed her orders from her mother.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also interested to see where Daron goes.
Yeah, exactly. But like, do you think that, Primus is gonna hold back on her punishment at all because it's her daughter, or do you think like?
I think she's still going to punish her, but I don't think that she's going to do it to the full wrath that she would to anybody else.
I feel like she's just gonna stab the other hand, just to make it right. Like, like
even you out. Here you go.
I don't know. What do you think is in store for Lyta? You might know, but
What's your predictions, huh?
Let's see. Let
Yeah.
me tell you everything now. Good. You'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
Aw, dang it.
You'll see.
I was going to try and trick you and get some predictions out of you.
Right?
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really you can't give any predictions.
No, I can't. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
That's my curse.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah, it is.
As a fan, you get to know all the spoilers.
Right.
But yet you can't share them with anybody.
No, I
All
can't.
right. Candice, study his eyes when I say this next one.
Okay, go.
All right. So I also want to know how many episodes till we see Brainiac knocking on Kandor's door. Ooh, Steel. Like the Man of Steel. Steel-eyed.
right.
He's
Ooh,
good.
Yeah,
he's
he's
good.
real good.
I can't read it at all.
All right. Well, I don't know. Here, let's take a bet. How many episodes till Brainiac is at Krypton's doorstep?
We're at episode
so we're
3?
at 3.
I
So
say-
just give like the episode number.
6.
At episode 6,
I think 5 would be premature because you have 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But 6 gives it enough longevity that you have 4 episodes.
My
of,
gut's
like,
telling me 8 for some reason.
you think 8?
Yeah, cause
All right.
I think it's because like the whole the
I
8th
can agree with
episode
it.
is
How
where
about I
like
scoop mine
things
up to
go
7?
down.
7 or 8?
I think 7 or 8 is around
Cool.
there. Yeah, right on. I agree with that. Also, yeah, give us comments as when do you think Brainiac is gonna Brainiac's gonna be knocking on their doorstep? Because I'm interested. Like, how long till we see him? You know? Because then that's when the review. Ooh, that's when it's just gonna be like.
A showdown?
It's gonna be like B-Day, Brainiac Day. Ooh, like D-Day. Never mind.
Sure. You tried.
But yes.
I love teasing you. It's
So
fun.
with all these predictions in hand, everybody, please speculate down below in the comment section. Also, thank you everyone for joining on the live chat. Unfortunately, we did not have the live chat open because there's only 2 of us. And we're focused on so many other things.
Yeah, of
But for
course.
next week, Steph will be back. So I'll kick it with you guys in the live chat. It'll be Soup Anthony. Because I love soup so much. Just kidding. That was a terrible joke. All right. Thank you.
I liked it.
Candice.
I'm just giving you the eye. I'm sorry.
You are.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love this after show. Please be sure to comment and subscribe. And hit me up on social media. You can find me on all of my social media at Candice R. Cruz. And let me know what you like and your predictions and any suggestions that you have. Because we can always evolve everything from that. So
Thank you.
yeah. And
very
thank
much.
you so much for joining
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Where can everybody find you?
So on Twitter, my handle is Corey Trench, CoreyTrench. You can find me there.
Right on. And do you have any upcoming projects or anything that you'd like us to keep an eye out for?
Just Krypton for now.
All right.
Cool.
Easy enough. Let's do that. All right. Hello, everybody. I guess
Goodbye.
goodbye everybody. My name is Anthony Baccera. You can find me everywhere at TonyBTony_. Again, it's Tony, the letter B, Tony, and an underscore at the end, unfortunately. But that's okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining
you
us.
guys.
Thank you.
Oh, also as a tease, we'll have a special, another special guest for episode 5. So I believe it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Up and away.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.